Hello ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's Papa Bale. Welcome to the channel. Check this out. We got two bearings, right? Well, I need to spin it with two hands, but it's pretty solid with the bearings. See, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, we're going to put bearings in there. So I'm reprinting these with 5/8 holes instead of the 1/4 inch. I'm going to put bearings in there. Yeah. Hopefully I got it in the middle because then the bearings will fit. I looked in the middle, but there's really, from the angle that I was looking at it, there's no way to center what I needed to center. It's like half of a circle hole. So you really got to eyeball that, as far as I could tell. But I got this. The 1/4 inch one is pretty good, so. So that one is a little heavy this way, very small amount. And the other one won't be able to test this way because you need to have the bearings solid in place, because the magnet doesn't reach all the way. The other rotor, the magnet doesn't reach all the way, so this is great. Frickin' awesome. Alright, and that's a north-south, so bang bang. And I got a whole 8 bearings left. Make different kinds of shafts if I wanted. See, this rotor right here. It can go like this, and the magnets will face up and down, or it can be like a Ferris wheel. It's different, totally different style than, say, that one over there. Which we're going to turn that up to 9 volts right now. See if we can even draw 100 milliamps on 9 volts. I think we'll be able to. We'll see. I'm excited now for that, for those bearings, man. That's going to make this Newman motor even better. Yeah, we're drawing 100 right now. 911 volts in, 100 milliamps, probably 120. We just keep on going up, probably. Oh no, it went down. Okay. So it's in between 50 and 100 milliamps. Okay, so technically what this is 0 power. But we know there's definitely some milliamps going in behind that 0. So let's say 0.04, 0.05 times 9.11. Yeah, that's not a lot. It's less than an amp, but for sure it's like a 1/4 amp. A little bit more than a 1/4 amp. Maybe. I mean, it's right around that. That's kick-ass, man. That is. And look at the speed. Look at the speed. I'm gonna turn on. Hopefully we have this hooked up. I'm not sure if we do or not. Does not look like we have it hooked up to the big coil. No, it's definitely not. If anything, it was hooked up to, there was a sensor coil here. I hooked up to that, and I figured out that it wasn't generating enough voltage with these magnets to trigger. Wasn't even generating 0.5. It was like 0.3. 300, instead of 0.5 of a volt, it was 0.3 of a volt. That's ridiculous. So what I did, honestly, is I made a trigger coil out of 38 gauge. It's only 4,000 turns, 38, but that's 4,000 turns of 38 right there. And it's right in a prime spot for the magnets, right on the edge and whatnot. So it'll be 180 for, and this is a 26 gauge coil, single strand. And see, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible because this motor is going to be run off the electricity being generated from that coil. Okay? That's our objective. And currently, we're using this to transform the AC from that big coil to DC. And then, technically it should work the way it works, the way that one works. Or another thing we could do, but I think it'll work even less, is try to run it through another power supply. I think it'll work even less efficiently than running off of that. Because there's no LED digital screen on that right there. There's no draw on the power. It goes straight through. This one will flash and turn off. I promise. Promise. It's a promise. I've done it like 14 times already trying to get it to work, and it's not going to happen. There's something about the pulse that the motor doesn't like, or that the power supply doesn't like. And virtually anything but a light bulb doesn't like electricity like that. And, I think the reason that it pulses is because they're all north-facing magnets. And where there's supposed to be a south, there's another north. So it's like what's supposed to be there isn't there, causing a pulse. But with the Newman motor, I'm thinking that we're going to get rid of that, and we might even be able to run a few things with this. I'm hoping anyway. There's some pretty mean magnets right there. Super spectacular. Spectacular. And then, I need to focus on my sculpture, like getting a base and then getting a second row done, vertical row. I've gotten a good first level done, but I need to add the second level. And so I'm thinking maybe we use this as the dimensions for the sculpture. And then be extending as a radius. The shaft would be in the middle. because of what sculpture it is, it would be, the rotor would be like thusly, okay, not like that, but like that, because that's what we need in order for this thing to work. And virtually, we need to make each added disc as weightless as possible. I mean, it's got to be light, and the bearings have got to be crisp, man. They got to be smooth, and they got to move with minimal application of force. Now, what I'm thinking about doing, since there's renewed interest in maglev bearings and rotors, I might do something like that. See, like this was an old maglev. There were 72 rectangle magnets glued onto this thing at one point on both sides. So I think that's 15 degrees, or was it 5 degrees? Might have been 5 degrees. Every 5 degrees there was a magnet. And then I glued the round ones on top of that to make it so that I could use its counterpart, that. And this was its lift. Not necessarily a bearing, because the rotor had a bearing on it already, but like a maglev that used the outer rim instead of around the shaft. Okay? And in order to make that work, I had to remove the bearing from this one, and I had to hollow it out a little bit so it would fit around the flange at the base of the shaft. Yeah, that was pretty epic. I mean, when you find out that, yeah, it's going to float, and it looks all different and everything. And I'm not talking about the colors. Yeah, the colors are cool, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it being different, and is that it's on the outside of the disc and not the center. That's different. And in my opinion, it works just as good depending on how, solid your magnetic field is. But yeah, this one right here, man, I'm excited about this. This is going to be fun. I hope it fits like the first try. The bearings. That'd be great. There it goes. I'm nervous and excited. 52% nervous, 48% scared. No, that's wrong. 52% excited, 48% scared. You know what? It doesn't matter, because it's the same level of frequency. Although it's more like EMF and BEMF, honestly. So is this. So is this, like EMF and BEMF. This is BEMF style. This is like the energy that nobody really looks at unless you know it's there. Okay? And then, like, say those toroids underneath enclosed in the shaft are kind of representative of this one here, but they're more like what everybody else is doing, having the maglev around the shaft, because it works. I mean, it works well. It works good. But you know what? This works too. Works almost the same. Maybe even better, depending on what you're doing with it. So that's all I gotta say. It's pretty awesome. But trying to remember, I think my Facebook account has a lot of videos of me with the sculptures and whatnot. I got a few that I've posted from Facebook to YouTube, painstakingly, of course, with downloads and uploads and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I can't wait to get started on that. I'm just like every disc, every attempt that I've made so far has been lopsided. So I'm hoping that if I make it smaller, just a little bit smaller dimensions, that the print won't, get lopsided and be straight and true. And then we'll put a bearing in it and we'll see. And then the other component to making this work, the sculpture, is this. So you get a pole, you put this at the desired elevation on the pole, and then you drop your disc onto that. And if the bearing is the right kind of bearing, it will, the bearing will rest on that little lip right there. So that's minimal friction. And then it'll turn without hindrance. It won't be hindered in its spin. But of course, a maglev would be way better. So that's what I'm thinking maybe of doing. But as for, see, maglev at elevations, different elevations, I'm going to have to go around the shaft, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so thank you very much. Peace out. Have a good day. Please subscribe. Bye now.